Hello and welcome to Hibs TV as we return to Leith after a few weeks away from home. It's match day 6 of the Cinch Premiership and we welcome St Johnstone to Easter Road. Today's match getting underway at 3 o'clock. Now there's been loads to talk about since our last game here at Easter Road. We come into this one after picking up our first few points of the new season and of course with a new head coach as well. And to help us go through all the busy news that's happened over the last few weeks, I'm delighted to be joined by a man who knows both of these teams really well. John O'Neill. John, how are you?
I'm good, thanks Adam, thanks for having me on.
No problem at all. Obviously we'll start by discussing today's game. St Johnstone come in here obviously looking for their first league win of the season. Hibs picking up 4 points from the last 2 games. It's going to be a really competitive match of two teams that really need to show what they're about today.
Yes, really different reasons. I mean, Hibs, new manager coming in, so it's exciting stuff. With also 3 home games coming up, it's a chance for Hibs to try and move up the table a little bit and gather a wee bit of momentum. And for St Johnstone, they're really sitting at the bottom of the table. They're struggling to score goals, and they'll come here today and they're going to make it very difficult today. So I do expect a very competitive match today.
Yeah, let's talk about that momentum firstly then for Hibs. Obviously David Gray picked up a win away at Aberdeen, and then Nick Montgomery in his first game as head coach had a draw at Kilmarnock. 4 points in the last 2 games. Unlucky for it not to be 6 in all truth, but a positive result today going into a big week could be massive.
Yes, for sure, yeah. I watched both the games. The Aberdeen game was very encouraging. We defended really well, which Hibs have been really poor, I think, this season so far. We look as if we can score goals, but at the other end, we're leaking too many bad goals. We've lost more goals than anybody this season, so that tells a story. But the game against Kilmarnock, you go 2 up, you're still expecting to win the game. So encouraging signs, and this is a great game for Hibs to get 3 points today.
Yeah, Nick Montgomery's obviously first home game as head coach as well. Firstly, with him coming into the club, how impressed were you with that, and what do you think he'll bring here to Easter Road?
Well, I think when we seen the appointment of Nick Montgomery, we thought, right, who is Nick Montgomery? And who is he? What has he done in the game? And and looking into his record a wee bit, I've been pretty impressed. I'm not an expert in Australian football by any means, but however, having looked at his record, he looks as if he's someone that knows what he wants. He plays with a real attacking style, and he's not frightened to bring youth through the youth development system and give them a chance. And I think he looks very well organised, and I think it's exciting times for Hibs.
Yeah, and you could see in his first game the style that he wanted to bring here to Easter Road and to his Hibs team. But today, obviously, he'll be really excited to actually get out in front of the fans and for the majority of the supporters to actually see what his team can do.
Yes, it's a great opportunity. As I was just saying there, it's a great opportunity. There's 3 home games which I believe they're all very, very winnable, and he has a side that are playing with a wee bit of attack. It's early days, but the signs are good that he's looking to have a go at teams. But as I said, it's really this mentality when Hibs go ahead, can they shut the back door at times? That seems to be Hibs' problem so far this season.
Yeah, and that was a little struggle in Nick Montgomery's first game as head coach. Let's just take a little look back at that 2-2 draw with Kilmarnock.
Right-footed again, another good delivery. Jago does well. Chance here for Miller. It's in the net. Lewis Miller scores. That's definitely over the line. Lewis Miller it is. 6 yards, just over 6 yards out. Gets the shot goalwards, right-footed. Well, Dennis looked as though he got a hand on it, looked as though he managed to keep it out, but it squirmed out underneath him, crossed over the line.
I think that's credit to Kilmarnock. They've been a wee bit more on the front foot.
Whelan does well. Nice ball. Chance here.
Goal.
Oh, that's a great finish. Dylan Vente doing what he does. Well, we were talking about him before the game, Kevin, and you said that you give him the ball in the penalty area like that and he'll score goals for you. Ellie Johan's rolled it into his path there. He's under pressure from the Killie defender. He holds him off well and picks his spot beyond the goalkeeper, rolls it into the bottom left-hand corner of the net, and just a minute or so before the hour mark, Hibs lead by 2-0.
Yeah, it was good play, good win from Ellie Johan, good ball in Ellie Johan. It was a beautiful touch. You know, I said, you know, as you rightly said, Dylan Vente, I don't necessarily think he gives you a lot out with the box, but to break, you know,
Chance
that
here.
momentum.
Stabbed through, good save by David Marshall. It's return goal, and Killie have one back. Vassell, the captain, cuts the Hibs lead back to 1.
You know, that's it. That's the thing. You know, we have to keep it 2-0.
Armstrong delivers. Oh, it's in the net from the substitute Watson, it looked like. Not defended at all. In fact, it might have been Joe Wright, I think, got the final touch on it for Killie.
He just gets a run on Lewis Miller at the front post.
Well, John, we could see the highlights just then from the draw with Kilmarnock. Obviously, the first kind of hour of the game, I think Hibs fans watching that would have been really impressed with what they saw from Nick Montgomery's side. Mm-hmm. Obviously, then when you 2-0 up, not to take all 3 points back here is a disappointment. But like I say, there's loads of positives I think that people can take from that game.
Yeah, for sure. Going to Kilmarnock's never easy. Kilmarnock have showed this season that they're a match for anybody at home. They make it very, very difficult, and the way that Hibs approached the game, I thought was great. They from the start, they had a go at them, plenty of width on wide areas, and going forward, with plenty of interlinking play as well. And then we get the 2 goals, and you think, right, we see the game out, a bit of game management, and we take the 3 points and leave Rugby Park, but we just seem to show this frailty at times when we go ahead. I don't know whether it's a mentality thing, tiredness, players switching off, whatever it is. There is a problem there, and but I'm pretty sure that the manager's looked at that, and that's something that hopefully he can address in the coming weeks.
Yeah, it'll definitely be something on the top of his list, I'm sure. I mean, he's only worked with the players before that Kilmarnock game for a week, and he only actually had Martin Boyle and Rocky Bashiri, I believe, for 48 hours before that game. How valuable would a full week again of training going into today's game be for the players?
Yeah, it will be invaluable. I mean, he'll be working on a lot of things, but there's only so much that you can fit into just 1 week. I mean, he's going to be looking longer than that, over the short term, the next month, couple of months. He'll have his eye on players. He probably doesn't know exactly what his best team is at the moment. Yeah. So that's a real opportunity for the current squad. Ones that are maybe on the sidelines, Tavares, players like that, to come in and show something to the manager. And it looks as if it's exciting times for Hibs at the moment.
Yeah, it's definitely a fresh start for everyone, which is the most important thing. And we were discussing it whilst watching those highlights in terms of the attacking threats that we've got. Martin Boyle and Ellie Johan on the wing, and Dylan Vente, who scored a great goal at Kilmarnock.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with Dylan Vente so far. Hasn't scored a lot of goals, don't get me wrong, but I think once he gets up and running, this could be an opportunity for him today, hopefully. He looks very technical. I've seen highlights of some of his games in Holland. Not fright to go in behind, good touch, comes short for it, links well with players. So going forward, I think Hibs are in a very good place. And as I said, we go back to defensively again, don't we? It's Nick can't change things at the moment. He's got to work with what he's got. However, it's an opportunity for these players to come in and and turn that around and, have better defensive performances and start picking up points, because that's what Hibs need at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely is. Well, we spoke to Nick Montgomery ahead of today's game, and he gave his thoughts and told us how excited he is to get his team playing out here at Easter Road. Nick, you've had another week on the training pitch with your players ahead of the game against St Johnstone. How valuable has that been?
Yeah, really valuable. I obviously only had a couple of days last week. The reality is, I think Boyley came back and Rocky, I think Thursday, so yeah, I had like 24, 48 hours, 2 sessions with the full squad. So I think this week was really important to obviously review the game from the weekend. So many positives to take from that Killie game, and yeah, start moving on to this weekend's game against St Johnstone. So it's given us a full week, to really dig in and start preparing the boys for what's a big week ahead, starting with St Johnstone. So really happy with the work that's been done on the training ground, and analysis of the opposition, and individual video and individual specific stuff this week. Just really getting to know the players on a personal level now, and if we can all improve, then that's really going to help everyone moving forward.
Yeah, and obviously looking ahead to the game on Saturday, you've been to Easter Road, you've had a look round, but how excited are you to actually having your team play in front of the fans there?
Yeah, really excited. I've walked around Easter Road, stood there, looked around and visualised the full crowd. So hopefully anyone watching, hopefully we can get 17, 20,000 in there, and really get the place rocking, because the boys need your support. They've had a tough start to the season, but hopefully the fans saw in the game on the weekend that the boys are really buying in, and yeah, they want to be an exciting team that takes the game to the opposition. So I think if we can do that, we've got enough quality to score goals. Yeah, of course we need to improve. We need to improve as a team defending, not just individuals, and make sure that we're resilient enough to see games out. And unfortunately we didn't do that on the weekend. But moving forward, yeah, the boys are all buying in, and they all know that we need to improve in all aspects of the game, and that's what we do in training every day. So everybody's really excited for this weekend's game, and hopefully getting a good performance on for our supporters.
Yeah, obviously we face St Johnstone this weekend. What do you expect from them in terms of style? They've had a difficult start to the season, haven't they?
Yeah, they've had a difficult start. We've had a difficult start, so yeah, I'm expecting them to come and compete for sure. And yeah, they've got good energy. Obviously, with what I've seen, they've been a little bit unfortunate in a couple of results, but that's what happens. It's the start of the season, so I'm pretty sure they'll be coming. No doubt, looking forward to playing at our beautiful stadium. But yeah, we have to make sure that we're ready, and it's about us. It's about us. Obviously, prepare for the opposition, but it's about us. Going out to try and win the game and put a good footing in for a big week ahead.
In terms of team news, then, how are we looking? Obviously, Eli Yuan came off with a slight knock, and Christian Deutsch with his eye as well.
Yeah, so Eli and Christian both took it easy this week. Obviously, Eli had a tough land on his shoulder. It was a little bit sore for a couple of days. And Doigi, yeah, he got double cut, top and bottom of his eye. So, fortunately, the stitches went in, and he's just had to be careful this week because it's pretty hard to patch up one eye. He's probably good enough to play with one eye, but no, it's important that we didn't have any contact and make the split any worse. But he's raring to go, and Ellie's raring to go. But we've all got 3 games next week as well, so look, we'll see how they both are tomorrow and make a decision whether they start, or if not, then we've got plenty of players putting a hand up to play starting tomorrow.
Yeah, just finally, you mentioned obviously 3 games in a week. It's a really big week, and one I'm sure that you're really looking forward to.
Yeah, I can't wait. People say expectation. I just cannot wait to get going. Myself, Sergio, Miguel, we've been around the stadium, and yeah, the fans were amazing last week. So all credit to them turning up last week. I thought they were fantastic. So if that was 2,000 of them, if we can get 20,000 at home, then cannot wait for that atmosphere, and no doubt they'll be excited for the game as well. So definitely big help if they can get behind the boys, because we need it.
Absolutely, Nick. Good luck.
Cheers, thank you.
Well, John, we heard from Nick just then. He's been working his players really hard over the course of this week. They haven't actually, other than Sunday after the Killie game when they did the kilt walk, they haven't had a day off. They've just been working with him furiously on the pitch. In terms of the players, I suppose for them, they'll really have to buy into his change in methods, change in style. But equally, for them to do that, I suppose they need to reap the rewards of it.
Yeah, when a new manager comes in, it's an opportunity for everyone. As I said earlier, there's a clean slate for the full squad. The manager will come in, and of course he's not going to change too many things right from the off. However, he'll look at the full squad and see what he has, and it's an opportunity for guys that's maybe on the fringes to come in and prove that they deserve a starting place. So as a new manager coming in, it's just he's not going to change too much when he comes in, but this is an opportunity today for Hibs to get up the league a wee bit and gather a bit of momentum.
What was it like for you as a player when a new manager came in and there was new training schedules, a new style, and how quickly as players can you adopt that new style?
I think you can adopt it fairly quickly. You know what the manager wants. I would say probably the more experienced players have seen that change of managers many times in their career. Maybe the younger players, it's maybe a wee bit different. A new manager coming in, they've been used to maybe 1-2 managers in their short careers. So I don't see it being a problem, for most of the squad. New manager come in, they have to buy into what the manager's telling them. And I get this feeling that, they like what they see from the new manager as he's came in, and he's got them really on the front foot, getting at teams, and I think that's pretty much a style that Hibs like to play.
Yeah, they absolutely do, and I think it's a style that the fans want to see as well, right?
Yeah, for sure. Hibs fans always want to see, the scoring goals, winning games. You can defensively. We still have to keep the ball at the back of the net.
Absolutely.
You still want to win games. It's all right scoring goals, but like say, losing 3-2, 2-1, 4-3, whatever it may be, you're scoring goals, but at the same time, you're not winning games. And ultimately, that's what fans want to see.
Yeah, and you've obviously played here, and you've had the fans singing your name right behind you on the pitch. Nick spoke in his interview again about the atmosphere that the fans created at Rugby Park against Killy, but in terms of the home atmosphere, there's nothing quite like it if you can get the whole of Easter Road rocking. For sure, yeah. At my time here, the atmosphere in some of the games, the Edinburgh derbies, the AK Athens game, the atmosphere that night, and it lifts the players. Just many special memories, and some of the big nights here at Easter Road. Yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll go to a quick break now, but make sure you stay with us because we'll be hearing a little bit more from John. And, of course, we've got a special interview for you from Will Fish. We'll see you shortly.
Simplexity Travel is made up of some of London's leading bespoke travel managers. Simplexity specialise in luxury travel services for corporate and private clients, groups and individuals who lead busy lives. Simplexity will simplify challenging schedules and complex trip itineraries, ensuring our clients always travel with complete peace of mind and in perfect luxury. Simplexity Travel, making luxury travel simple.
Welcome back here to Hibs TV as we continue to build up to today's Cinch Premiership game against St Johnstone. Earlier this week, my colleague Gavin Ritu caught up with Will Fish just to get his thoughts ahead of this one.
Well, thanks for joining us. Just completed your final training session before we take on St Johnstone. How was that?
Yeah, it was good. Like every training session we've had since he's come, a lot of tactical work, and I feel like we're going into games, with a good game plan and well organised.
Yeah, what have the last couple of weeks been like getting to grips with the new head coach and the coaching staff?
I think it's gone pretty well, to be honest. I think the lads are sort of impressed by the tactical side of him and his staff, and I think the ideas the gaffer's trying to bring to the team is all positive, and I think we'll benefit from that a lot.
What are the kind of main changes that you've seen personally?
I'd probably say the style of football has changed, and if you're going off training, I think training's more intense, and there's a lot more tactical work that we've been doing, so no, it's been good and enjoyable.
Looking ahead to the weekend then, what kind of challenge do you expect from St Johnstone on Saturday?
Well, look, no game in this league's easy, and I think St Johnstone they'll be set up well. They'll try and make themselves hard to beat, and I think we'll have to be switched on defensively as well, set pieces, and I think they'll be quite direct, so it'll be interesting.
In terms of your own performances this season, you've played every minute of the league campaign. What have you made to your start to the season?
I'll be honest, it didn't go as well as I was hoping, but that's football. You take the ups and the downs, and you've got to sort of stay pretty level-headed, because football can soon change, and the last 2-3 weeks I feel a bit more confident, a bit sharper than I was, so no, I think we'll be good.
Well, of course, it's 3 big games coming up in the next 7 days, a good chance to kick on again from that.
Yeah, definitely, and I think as a team we're looking at that, trying to maximise our points from them games, and hopefully get to a semi-final at Hampden. So no, it'll be good, and we're looking forward to the challenge.
Top man, well, appreciate your time.
Thank you. Cheers.
Well, we heard from Will Fish just then, John. Whilst that interview was going on, we were discussing, weren't we, man management and how important that is nowadays still in football. It kind of gets overlooked, I think, a little bit in terms of style of play and identity. Just listening to Will's interview just then, he spoke glowingly around the manager and the impact that he's had in the early days. I suppose that's probably testament to that man management piece.
Yeah, as I was saying to you, Adam, under my time under Alex, that was one of Alex's biggest strengths, was his man management. When he first came in, he knew how to handle players. We had a real mix of foreign players and Scottish players, and so we had a real mix of different personalities, and he knew how to handle everybody. Some guys needed a wee bit of a bollocking, shall we say. Some other players needed just to ease off and let them play. And Alex we had a team where we were just allowed to maybe go and express ourselves a wee bit more, but Alex allowed us to do that. He didn't stifle our play or stop us in any way. He encouraged us to go and get at teams, and I think that was one of our biggest strengths as a team at my time here, was just we went out and just expressed ourselves, and we had a lot of good experienced players who knew how to handle it, so man management is very important.
Yeah, and the players in the last week have all spoken about a real noticeable kind of change in style of play as well. Dylan Venti said that he felt like it suited his game a lot more. Will Fish is obviously doing things differently in terms of playing out from the back. Do you think this new style is almost being enjoyed by the players on the pitch?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, Hibs going forward look a very, attacking minded team. So he Nick's coming in. He has some of the players there that Hibs can go and hurt teams. But we keep going back to the old defensive one again. So can we keep it tight at the back? To win games. But it's encouraging signs.
Yeah, let's talk defensively then, because Will Fish was obviously speaking there about the players sticking to a game plan, being organised in their defensive shape as well. Obviously, and Will even admitted it himself, his return this season hasn't gone quite as well as what he hoped, but he feels like his confidence levels are rising again. He's obviously a young boy too. Him and Rocky, both young centre halves. They'll both be kind of learning to play next to each other as this goes on, and I suppose that relationship will need to grow to be a little bit more secure.
Yeah, I mean, defenders, they pride themselves on the amount of goals that they concede, and Will Fish, Rocky, Lewis, two Lewises, they pride themselves on how many goals they're conceding, so they'll be hurting. They know that they have to improve, but they also have to improve as a team. It's we're singling out the back four here, but let's we have to defend from the front at times, and people just to switch on it at times, defend corners better, get back in, talk to each other, communication, all these things will make us a better side defensively, and I think that's something that the manager will work on, and I'm sure he's looking to improve.
And there's no doubt it'll be a fight again today against a St Johnstone side that are direct, that play the ball straight into their strikers, and Will, Paul or Rocky, if they're selected, will really have to deal with that.
Yeah, St Johnstone, they're in a wee bit of a transitional period at the moment. New manager coming in, obviously. They've got some new players in. They also have some injuries to worry about. They haven't scored a lot of goals this season, bottom of the league, so they're under a wee bit of pressure. But one thing you'll get with St Johnstone, they'll come here and fight, they'll make it difficult, they'll be organised, and they have a decent record here, so it's not going to be an easy game. Don't think this is going to be just a case of Hibs are going to turn up today and we're just going to run over the top. I don't see it being like that. I do see Hibs winning the game, however. I don't think it's going to be an easy one today.
Yeah, no, I'd probably agree with that. Well, let's just have a quick look at that league table then. Obviously, it's still very early on in the season. St Johnstone, like you say, are bottom of the table. Hibs 3 points ahead of them. Obviously, today, both teams have had kind of difficult starts to the campaign, but both teams, like we've already discussed, will come into this one knowing if they get 3 points, it could be a real catalyst for the rest of the season.
Yeah, St Johnstone won the leapfrog Hibs today. Hibs win today, they push further up, and then they've another 2 home games coming up, so Hibs will be looking to take all 3 as will St Johnstone.
Yeah, and obviously St Johnstone, despite them being bottom of the table, they've also picked up some good points this season. They got a draw at Celtic Park and came from 2 goals down against Dundee as well to secure a point. How difficult will this St Johnstone side be to break down? But then also when they are down, they'll come out fighting, won't they?
It will be difficult. I mean, you look at the games that St Johnstone have played this year. I mean, they haven't exactly been blown away by teams. I mean, they've lost games. They've lost too many games. And I think St Johnstone, that their biggest problem is scoring goals. Defensively, they don't look in too bad a shape. They've got some new players coming in, so they're going to find a little bit of time to get to know each other, and they certainly, St Johnstone will be seeing this as an opportunity today. So it's going to make for a good game today. Yeah,
and obviously Nick Montgomery will want his side to come here and want to come here himself and get his first home win at Easter Road.
Yeah, I'm sure he's absolutely really excited about the opportunity today. big crowd here today, fans' expectations, the players will be looking forward to it. A lovely day, hopefully the sun can come out later, and yeah, he'll be, I'm sure he's pretty comfortable in what he's worked on all week, and he's gave his message to the players what he's expecting today, and I'm sure he's pretty excited about today.
Yeah, just your final thoughts then, John, on today's game and where you think it could be won or could be lost for Hibs.
Well, for it to be won, it's obviously the wide areas, Boyle, Johan, and then Venti up front. Christian Doige play, I think he will. I think he'll play off him. So there's plenty of attacking power there. Hopefully the fullbacks as well, who can get forward. They're getting a licence to join in the attack, and Hibs will create chances today. There's no doubt about that. Can they put them away? I think they will. Then we go back to what we keep repeating is when they go ahead, do they have mentality to hold on to the a goal, 2-goal lead? Time will tell.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's all we have time for, John. Thank you very much for joining us. It looks like the sun's trying to break through here at Easter Road, so let's hope there'll be sunshine on Leith later this evening.